Well, hello again, young artists. Today I want to celebrate the color wheel a little bit more, and I've got some vocabulary words for you. I'm going to show you how to draw a pumpkin, and I'm going to show you how to not draw a pumpkin. I'm kind of itching to paint today, so I'm going to teach you a little bit more about the color wheel using some paints. I know you may not have paints at home, but some of you do. This would be a good time to use them. If you want to get some paints, I'm not asking you to buy anything, but you can get paints at some of our local stores for not very much money, sometimes even at the Dollar Tree. They're not great quality, but you could try them. I want to go over these vocabulary words really quick. Primary, those are the first colors, red, yellow, blue. Here it is on the color wheel. And I'm going to show you this part of the color wheel. This part is a little bit confusing. I'm going to show you this one. Yellow, red, blue. Those are the primary colors. Those are what we start with. If I run out of red paint, can I take some of the other paint colors that I have here at school and mix them together and make red? No, I can't. Remember, primary means first. If I run out of red, yellow, or blue, those are the primary colors, I'm out of luck. I have to buy more of those colors. If I run out of orange, I can make it with yellow and red mixed together. Why? Because orange is a secondary color. So let's look at this word, secondary. If I cover that up, there's the word second. Secondary just means next, or it comes second. And here are the three secondary colors, green, orange, and purple. I will show you again on the color wheel. Yellow and red are primary. If you mix yellow paint and red paint, you get orange. That's a secondary color. If you mix yellow and blue, those are primary, you get green. Green is a secondary color. And red and blue make violet or purple. So that gives us 6 colors. 3 plus 3 is 6. 3 primary and 3 secondary colors. Let's talk a little bit more about the color wheel. These colors, we call these the warm colors. They look like a sunset or maybe fire, like in a campfire. On the opposite side or the other side of the color wheel are the cool colors. These look cold. They look more like water or clouds on a stormy day. And artists use both warm and cool colors. You know, if you add white to a color, it gets lighter. If you add black to a color, it gets darker. And then we have opposite colors. Opposite, we know what that word means, but the art word for that is complementary. Complementary. And look what I did there. I used complementary colors to write the word complementary. Here's what I mean. Orange and blue are opposite across from each other on the color wheel. If you use these colors next to each other, it makes the colors look brighter. So opposite of yellow is violet. Yellow and violet are complementary colors. What is the other pair? I need 1 primary and 1 secondary. Red and green. They are opposite. I want to show you a piece of art that was made by Georgia O'Keeffe. This is one of her giant flower paintings. And of course we have yellow and a whole range of oranges here, but mostly we think of this as red. And for the background, she could have chose any color, but she chose a very pale, very light green, and it really makes all these reds and oranges really pop out. Because remember, orange and green, they are complementary or they are opposite. The next 2 colors, these are the colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Pick any 3. Here's yellow, yellow, green, and green. If you blend these together with paint or even crayons, they're going to look good together. If you blend yellow with violet paint, it's going to turn a brown color and it's not going to be at all bright anymore. If you start here maybe with yellow orange, orange, and red orange, those are next to colors. They are actually next to each other on the color wheel. So when I'm talking about next to colors and complementary colors, I'm talking about how they are organized in order on the color wheel. Now let's talk about those pumpkins. You can get a pencil out and draw if you want to. This is not a great way to make one. I think we can do better. This is just a circle with straight lines. Real pumpkins in nature don't really have any straight lines. This is a little bit better. It's kind of a bumpy shape, kind of like a cotton ball or a cloud with a stem on it. I still think we can do better. And this one, this drawing, I see a lot of students draw like that. They're really trying to show all those ribs or bumps that are on a pumpkin, but what they got wrong is they go down lower, and that doesn't really make sense. The way to do it is to make this oval shape in the middle, make that the lowest thing. And if you notice in this drawing, I've gone out this way, but these bumps on the pumpkin are higher than this one. And then I've gone up even higher here. So this helps make it look round. Even my purple shadow looks round. You can draw this and color it in with crayons. Here's the range of crayons that I used for that drawing. I've got yellow and red and then a bunch of oranges in between. And then I've used my other complementary colors, green and purple. I want you to use these colors today, whether you use crayon or paint. I said earlier, I'm really itching to paint. So I'm going to jump straight in and paint today. I'm not going to draw the pumpkin first. If I drew it first, I would have a heavy black line, and I don't really want that for my painting today. So I'm going to start with that center part of the pumpkin and go ahead and just paint that yellow. I'm going to use the tip of my brush and draw kind of up like that and like that. I tend to put things at an angle when I'm drawing on a vertical surface like this. And then I want to go up like that. I will come back with orange and darken that in. But I want the top part of my pumpkin to be yellow because I want it to look like, maybe like the sun is shining on it. And I'll put a little highlight right there. And then the stem will come out in the middle. With watercolor, you do need to work with, and I'm using these colors right here. I don't know if I showed you that. With watercolor paints, they sort of stain the paper, so they are very thin and watery. And that's good because you can layer up the color, but it's tough to work with because you can't erase it. So I would understand if you would want to pencil in your pumpkin first. So I'm going to add orange, a layer down here. If I want the layer to be very thin and very light orange, I just add more water. Like right here, I got it really, not dark, but intense. I would say that this orange is bold, this orange is light. The difference is just how much paint and how much water. So I want to go like that. And then I want to use a little bit of red, just a little bit mixed with the orange, to kind of show where the dark part of that rib would be. I want to show a little bit where one part of the pumpkin goes in like a valley. I'm going to get a little more red right there. And I am experimenting. I do not know how this is going to turn out. I want to mix maybe an orangey red. I've got a little tray right there where I can do that. Even this part, it's going to get a little more intense. I'm adding another layer of orange. I'm going to drag that up and let that blend like that. I'm going to leave this part really light yellow. I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to make a stem, and I'm going to make it green. That's how I'm going to get in my green secondary color. And I'm going to go over this yellow. Now remember, yellow and green on the color wheel. I'm looking for my color wheel. You can kind of blend them a little bit. So because this top part, I don't have any orange up there, I can go over that yellow and I can put in my stem, and I want it to be a little bigger at the top, and I'm going to pull that down like that. Now that is a pretty bright green. I want to dull that out a little bit, so I might use a tiny bit of brown just to make the green look a little more earthy, a little more natural looking. It's dripping a little bit. I'm going to pull it up like that. And then I want to use straight green, kind of a little bit brighter, and I want to sort of make a little loop where the vine that pumpkin grew from would come from. So now I've got the secondary color orange and the secondary color green. How am I going to get purple into the pumpkin? The same way that I did with the crayon drawing that I did. I'm going to go into the purple, and I'm going to go right up under this pumpkin, and I'm dragging my brush left to right, and I want to go right up under that pumpkin, and then drag that purple color left to right, and this gives me the idea of a shadow. Of course, it's not really a shadow. This pumpkin isn't real. It's two-dimensional. It's on a flat surface. I want to pull this purple out, down lower, and because I want to show that my pumpkin is round, I want my shadow to be round too. So I'm going to pull that purple color. I could add another layer and make it darker. If you were using crayon, what would you do to make it darker? What would you do to deepen that purple color? You would probably just press a little harder. Now I want to get complementary colors in, so I'm seeing a lot of orange. What can I do? I can make my background blue. Orange and blue are opposite. Opposite where? On the color wheel. So I might add in a horizon line. You can make it green. You can make it brown. I think I'm just going to make it brown. And that's my imaginary horizon line. Look at me getting paint on my orange paper. That's okay. So I want to make this look kind of like it's in a garden with soil around it, and it's brown. Now notice how this gets light. Why did that get light? I'm running out of paint, and it's mixing with the white of the paper. That's all. I want to pretend, here comes my x-ray vision. So I want to bring that around like that. And I want to keep that kind of light. And then up above it, I'm going to rinse my brush. I would use some blue, and I'll throw in another color, white, and that will make a tint or a light color, and I will go around that. Now by now that brown has already started to dry a little bit. Even in between those loops, I want to put that sky color. And I just want to fill that in. If you want a cloud, then simply don't paint or color in that part of your paper, and let the white of your paper move over, magnet. Let the white of your paper be a cloud. Sometimes we forget and we leave the sky white and we make the cloud blue. It's really the other way around. The sky is usually blue unless it's a totally rainy, stormy day. And I'm going to let this cloud kind of be opposite this shape. Sometimes that gives us a figure 8 in our art, and that really makes it kind of interesting to look at. I want you to try mixing colors if you have paint at home. Please remember to, if you are a grown-up or you get the grown-up with you, to snap a picture of what you do and email it to me. My email is just like your teacher's email, except for the name part. You're going to go to ellisk